I have spent the last few weeks running the same prompt across every major AI video model available right now to figure out which ones are actually worth using in 2026, and the results were not what I expected. I included different types of models in this test, from the most popular ones to some that are not as widely talked about. This video is the honest breakdown of what I found, and each model also gets pushed through tests built for what it is actually designed to do. By the end, you will know exactly which ones are worth your money and which ones you can skip. The first model is Minimax Hailuo 2.3, and I am starting here because this model does one thing better than anything else on this list, and that is human motion. I am testing every model with the same universal prompt so you can compare them fairly, then pushing each one through the tests it was built for. Here is the universal prompt. A common problem in AI video is that when a character moves, something about it doesn't feel real. The walk looks a little weird, the expressions do not quite match how a real person actually moves. And Minimax Hailuo 2.3 was built to fix this problem, and the outputs show the difference. Everything is inside Higgsfield, which has all of these models in one subscription. I have also dropped the link in the description for you. Now let me run the universal prompt first and see how it does. The character's motion is very smooth, and the spin and catch of the baton looks real. The environment and the reflections on the wet street hold up well. Where this model shows its level is in the audio and the finer background details, which are solid, but not the strongest on this list. For a base output, that is a very strong result. Now let me show you what this model is built for, which is natural human behavior. Look at the details there, all from the timing of the laugh, the way her head turns, the slight settling of the movement when it stops. Most models don't care about this kind of detail, but Minimax Hailuo 2.3 makes sure to notice it all and make it look real. If you are making lifestyle content, a vlog-style video, or a dialogue scene with real people in natural situations, this model handles it better than anything else on this list. It generates a 6-second clip in under 30 seconds, which makes it the fastest model. I want to show how that speed holds up on a product ad. I have an image of a skincare serum bottle on a marble counter, and the prompt that I'm using is this. For how fast that generated, the result looks very clean. The motion is natural, the product stays sharp throughout the clip, and the lighting stays properly. If you are making ad content at volume and need a model that can keep up with your pace, Minimax Hailuo 2.3 is what you need. But in terms of overall visual quality, the next model takes things further. What makes it different from every other model on this list is called thinking mode. Wan 2.7 is Alibaba's model, and it's just recently launched on April 6th and available on Higgsfield. Most models take your prompt and start generating right away, but Wan 2.7 reads your prompt first, works out how the scene should be put together, and then generates. Now we paste the universal prompt first. In the output, the way this scene was put together worked well. The human motion is not quite as flexible as what we just saw with Hailuo. The movement is very unrealistic, and the audio doesn't sound right. Let's do another test. Now, the feature that makes Wan 2.7 stand out is called thousand face realism. The common issue in AI video is that characters mostly end up looking like versions of the same face no matter what you describe. That is why Wan 2.7 gives you real control over facial structure, eyes, and specific features. Now we'll make two completely different characters side by side. The first character prompt we're using is this, and the second character prompt is this. The bone structure is different, the eyes are different, the whole impression of each person is completely different. For anyone making content where characters need to look like specific people across multiple scenes, this is what fixes that. The last thing I want to show with Wan 2.7 is the first and last frame feature. You upload the image you want the clip to start on and the image you want it to end on, and the model fills in the motion in between. For the starting frame, I have an empty rooftop at sunset with the city in the background. The ending frame is the same rooftop at night with city lights glowing below. The motion prompt will be this. The output connects both frames clearly because the light shift looks natural. The camera holds still, and the ending frame matches the image I uploaded. By the way, every model you have seen so far and every model coming up in this video is available inside one platform called Higgsfield. Instead of subscribing and paying for each one separately while managing different accounts, one Higgsfield subscription gives you all of them in one place. I have dropped the link in the description below so that you can follow along with me. Now, the reason this model stands out in this ranking is how much you can give it as a starting point before it generates, which is Seedance 2.0, a ByteDance model. Every other model here works from one reference image, but Seedance 2.0 takes up to 9 reference images, 3 video clips, and 3 audio tracks all in one generation. That means you can give it the character, the location, the visual style, and even the sound you want, all at the same time. And it builds everything from those references in a single pass. Universal prompt first. The base output is solid. What you can notice right away is that this model feels precise and controlled. It is not the most visually dramatic output on this list, and that is by design. It is built for consistency when you have a lot of specific things that all need to match. Let me show you what it actually does. I have a character image and a location image loaded. Seedance uses a tagging system called the @system, which links each reference to the right part of the prompt. I'll paste in this prompt. The @tags tell the model which reference belongs where. The character matches, the location matches, the audio fits too. Getting 3 specific elements all correct in one generation would take a lot of retries with most other models. If you are building a project where specific people, specific places, and specific sounds all need to stay consistent from one scene to the next, this is the model built for that. But the next model doesn't just follow your inputs, it actually tries to understand the story behind them. So far, it's been about control, but now it's about how everything in the scene works together. Cinema Studio is Higgsfield's own model, and it works differently from everything else on this list. Most models take a prompt and start building a video around it, but Cinema Studio tries to understand the story first. You give it up to 9 reference images of your characters and locations, describe the scene you want, and the model works out what you are going for before it generates anything. It looks at the relationship between the elements you gave it and makes decisions from there. We paste the universal prompt here again. The feel of this result is different from what we have seen so far. The way the scene is framed looks like a decision was made about how to present it. The lighting and the movement feel thought out rather than randomly picked. That is the cinematic reasoning at work. When you give it a clear scene to work with, it approaches the framing the way a movie director would. Also, the genre preset system is one of the most practical things about Cinema Studio. The model has genre settings you can switch between, including noir, drama, action, and epic. Each one changes the lighting, the color look, and the feel of the motion without you having to change anything in the prompt. I am going to run the same universal prompt twice, once with noir turned on and once with epic, so you can see the difference. The noir version pulls the shadows deeper, drops the color down, and the whole scene feels darker. The epic version feels more dramatic and heightened, with stronger lighting, a bigger sense of scale, and a more cinematic overall look. We used the same prompt. The only thing that changed was the genre setting, and for anyone who wants a specific look to their content, this removes a lot of trial and error from getting there. I have a character reference image and a location reference image loaded. Now we'll do one more test. Here's the prompt. The character is placed correctly in the location, and the lighting matches across both references. But things start to get more interesting when you go beyond just one shot, and that's where the next tool comes in. So I tried something that completely changes how a scene comes together. Kling 3.0 is from Kuaishou, and this is the model that changed what multi-shot AI video looks like. Every other model on this list generates one clip at a time, but Kling 3.0 generates a sequence of up to 6 shots in a single pass. You describe each shot, the model handles the framing and the cuts between them, and it keeps the same character and setting consistent throughout. That was not possible in one generation before this model came out. Again, we'll start with the universal prompt to keep the comparison equal. Now this one looks completely different compared to the previous results. The juggling is different, the physics don't look realistic, and the audio doesn't sound right. The colors look good though, and the 4K quality is there. Now for the multi-shot feature, and I believe this is where Kling stands out the most. The prompt I am using has 3 separate shots described inside it. All 3 shots have the same character and the same lighting throughout. The cuts feel very real and unnoticeable. A sequence like this used to mean 3 separate clips and manual editing. And here, Kling 3.0 produces the whole thing in one generation. For narrative content, short films, or anything that moves through multiple shots, this is the model that makes it possible. Now I want to show Kling 3.0 on a product ad. I have an image of a pair of sleek sunglasses on a dark surface, and the prompt I'm using is this. The motion is clean, the sunglasses stay sharp each time, and the whole clip reads as premium without any extra work. Content that used to need a studio setup and a full production crew is now done by Kling 3 using only one image and a prompt. I have dropped the link to Higgsfield in the description below. Every model from this ranking is already inside it, and having them all in one place means you can run the same prompt across all of them in one session without switching platforms. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.